Hi, so I just wanted to walk you through how to enter grades. So I'm just going to log in as you. So here is your schedule. Clearly, you don't teach on Fridays because nothing comes up on Friday. So I'm just going to quickly go to a day where you teach. Okay, so on Monday, as I can see, you teach halacha classes. So on a day that you teach, when you see this your schedule, there'll be an option to take attendance. You can take attendance in advance of your class. So I'm just going to scroll back to a previous day when you did have class. So if you noticed, if you scroll down over here, you have an option to take attendance, which it looks like you did already. Okay, great. So that's just the first thing you need to know in terms of taking attendance. So how do you add grades? So the only way to add grades is if you've actually added assignments. So I'm going to go into your class and I'm going to add an assignment, okay? So you have an option of adding an assignment, assessment, and a discussion. So assessment is basically, it doesn't necessarily have to be an online test. It's if you want to basically add a multiple choice assignment or there are many other question types that you can use on assessment. But for now, I'm going to go in assignments. Let's call it, I don't know, read page 23. In order to add a grade, you have to post an assignment. That's the only way that anything will populate the grade book. If you want to add a description. So an assignment type, the only time you'll actually see an assignment type is once you've already used it once. So I'm going to select from all assignment types. Okay, I'm going to make this, let's say, a homework. Okay, I have the option to link a URL or a download. And then we have gradebook. So you have to add an abbreviation, and that's how it's going to appear on your gradebook. So I'm going to add homework number 1. I'm going to make this, let's say, worth, I don't know, 10 points. And factors, how many times do I want it to count in my gradebook? Okay, these are your default gradebook, cumulative grade, published grade. I have the option to associate a rubric, but in order to associate a rubric, you had to have already done a rubric, and I'll show you how to do that afterwards. You have an option of having them submit it online by clicking on campus submission, where they basically can either link a document or just write it within Blackbaud, or your default is not submitting a submission. You can choose to whether or not to have this assignment here appear more than once. And then you can decide, do you want this to be for both your halacha classes, just one of your halacha classes? You can basically decide, okay, I want to make for both of these classes, it's going to be due next Friday. And then I'm going to press save. Okay, so now this is the assignment. Notice that no, I haven't graded it yet. I can choose at this point to not publish the grade. I can choose to edit it over here. I can choose to delete it. And then if I go into gradebook, I will notice, okay, now my assignment has appeared, and all I need to do is add the grades over here. I can bulk assign points. I can assign all of them 10 points. I can also bulk add comments and stuff like that. Let's say I want to add a rubric. So the way that you have to that you can add a rubric is that you first have to go into My Day, go to rubrics, go to rubric bank. So it's a little bit tedious, but you first have to basically add a rubric. Okay, so I'm going to do test. I don't know, let's say your skill to evaluate is, I don't know, Parshanut, even though I don't think that's what you're doing in halacha. You can add different levels, excellent, very good, good, poor, which we would surely would never do anyways. I'm going to make this 10 points, 8 points, 6 points, and then 2 points. Done adding this skill. And then if I want to add another skill, I don't know, textual, I'm just making these up, textual skills. So you notice that the different levels appear and the points appear as well. So I'm going to done adding this skill. So now I'm going to save to rubric bank. Okay, so what I have to do is I have to then add this to my rubrics in order for it to appear. So I'm going to add it to my rubrics. Okay, so now if I go into my rubrics, this rubric has appeared. So now if I want to now add an assignment, I'm going to add another assignment. I'm going to read page 24 this time. Okay, notice now that since I've added an assignment, it's now going to homework will appear. And this time I want to associate my rubric, and automatically my points will appear, but I still have to add my abbreviation. One instance, I want this to be due the 18th. And now I'm going to press apply to selected, and now I'm going to press save. So now if I go into this assignment, so this, when you associate a rubric though, the only issue is that you can't mark it from the actual gradebook. You have to go into each student, into that assignment and evaluate it with a rubric. And that's pretty much it with regards to grades. There is another way to add grades. Either you could add by going into your classes and by going to assignments, and then that's how you can add a grade. Or you can go under faculty, or if you go to My Day, you can go to Assignment Center. And that's another way to add assignments. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Have a great Shabbos.